The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 55 with Noumena. All right, Rock Metal Nation, I've got on the line today a Noumena, a melodic death metal band from Finland, and I'm super stoked to have them on today. I am joined by members of Noumena. Hannu, welcome to the show.
I'm really pleased to be part of the Rock Metal Podcast, and let's rock on.
Yes, indeed. All right, why don't you go ahead and tell Rock Metal Nation a bit about yourself, Hannu, maybe what inspired you to get into music?
Maybe it was, I was maybe on the 4th or 5th grade, and I saw or heard two things. The first one was Metallica's Enter Sandman, and the second one was Guns N' Roses' You Could Be Mine music video, which I saw, and I think that was the reason. Then I, met my nowadays band colleagues, which played already drums and guitars on the, really low grades of school back in the days. And when I was 13, I bought my first acoustic guitar, and that's the story goes. One step after another.
Yeah, and I'm completely brought back to Guns N' Roses, You Could Be Mine, that whole Terminator soundtrack, which of course was an epic movie to come out of that time, Terminator 2, and then the music video has them going through that entire scene with the motorcycle where they're shooting each other. If I remember correctly, maybe I'm making it up, but if I remember,
yeah, that's the video.
All right, and then obviously, how iconic can you get? I mean, from thrash metal all the way into just arena rock, selling out arenas and going to with Enter Sandman, and then buying your first acoustic guitar at the age of 13, which I'm sure for most Finnish men is a rite of passage. The Jews have bar mitzvahs. For Finnish men, it's probably buying an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, of course, I wanted drums in the first place, but my parents told me that we don't have the premises, and it's going to kill their nerves if I just beat the drums all the day. So it was the acoustic guitar and then electric guitar and bass in the some point and so on.
Yeah. Now, Hannu, what's the story behind how Noumena became a band? Like, how did you guys find each other?
Well, we all come from the same quite small town in central Finland. It's called Ähtäri. And Ähtäri has always been famous for zoo and some tango and maybe rock artists. And we all Noumena members except Suvi, we are same age, born in 1979, and we were already classmates during before high school and in high school, and we had many different bands with different lineups, and I think it was already in 1997 when I had a good listen to death metal and melodic death metal, and we decided, me and our drummer Ilkka, that we really should form our own melodic death metal band, since there had been some Rage Against the Machine inspired rap metal bands and thrash metal and alternative rock and all kinds of genres which we played, and then we decided to form Noumena, and it was 1998, and so we have a long history already before the band was formed, and of course already over 19 years in Noumena.
Wow. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what inspired the name Noumena?
Well, I think it was in the end of the day it was a trade-off between two names. The alternative option was Satan's Claw, and the other one was Noumena.
Wow.
And I think we chose a kind of a little bit boring alternative, but the name comes from Kantian philosophy, and noumena means things which are not seeing, things in themselves. I think it was we were a little bit inspired by philosophy back in the days, and maybe it just sounded good, and we chose that name. And once you commit to one name, you really won't change it, even though sometimes I have pondered that maybe the Satan's Claw would have been kind of a better name, but here we are.
This is true. This is true. Now, when you guys get together to write songs, what's that process like?
Already in 1998, when the band was formed during the spring, we all back in the days we had 5 members. After high school, we all moved to different cities and different towns in Finland, and it has always been such a situation, so it really affects how we write music. And the procedure is usually such that either of our guitar players, Ville or Tuukka, usually composes the song, and already kind of a rough arrangement for other of the the structure of the song and the other instruments, and thank God we have computers nowadays, so guys can record kind of demo version and send it to other members, and we rehearse at our own, and then we come together. Nowadays we have a rehearsal place in Helsinki, in capital of Finland. Maybe once in 2 months or once in 3 months we get together and we rehearse and arrange those songs together, and this is the reason why we have quite slow timetable for new albums. Okay, now it was 4 years and so on, but it really affects that we don't have the chance to play every week, and I'm a little bit envy for the bands which have that possibility, because maybe Noumena was somewhere else in some else situation if we had the chance, but you play with the cards you get, and I think we have make most out of it.
I agree. Let's go and listen to the first track, The Wrath of the Forest. Okay, coming back from the Wrath of the Forest, I wasn't even going to try and say it in Finnish. I could try. Metsän viha?
Yep, that sounds quite good.
Well, thank you. So, what is the story or inspiration behind the Wrath of the Forest or Metsän viha?
It's composed by Tuukka Tuomela, and it's quite nice, catchy, and upbeat song. And I have written the lyrics for the song, and I think it's like a twofold story. It's quite concrete story about how Finnish people have cut their living from the forests, and I think there might be some resemblance to Canada in this sense that the boreal forests really has given to living for the lots of people, and the wealth in Finland it's built on the wood, but there's always the price you have to pay, and the price is at the moment that we don't respect the nature in Finland in a way. I think we should, and on the other hand, it's a quite generally humane story about that the things you really love and value you finally end up almost destroying, or you end up destroying. So it's my kind of in a way it's a statement that is the wealth really the worth of destroying the basic properties or the basic conditions for living here, and it's a kind of statement on the worldwide state of the nature, which I'm worried about.
Yeah, very good points that you bring up there. Let's go and listen to the next track, The Messenger.
Saasta ihmiselo vajoaa. Vedellä merkitty sanansaattaja kantaa elämään hukkuneita. Tulen polttamia hahmoja, joita sijää sen kuolleen.
All right, so I'm going to try and say this one. There's a lot of words, a lot of letters in this word, though. Sanansaattaja?
Yeah.
All right. What is the, same question for you, what is the story or inspiration behind The Messenger?
This is both composed and the lyrics are written by Ville Lamminaho, and he usually writes a little bit mid-tempo songs compared to Tuukka's tracks, and this is a quite epic song as you can tell yourself, and I think it represents really important part of Noumena's style that we're not afraid to go into long songs and we still can make them carry on from the beginning to the end, and okay, this is a quite classic theme in melodic death metal. It's about death. It's a kind of allegory of apocalyptic phase of some community or like that. And of course, everything ends as it will end for all of us to the point when the death arrives. And I think there's quite strong feelings, and this melancholy which is important for our music, and Suvi Uura does really great job with her vocals on this track, and she also played some piano things in the end of the song, and it really works. And by the way, this album is first one where there's piano and keyboards on Noumena album, and well, when we recorded our first album, which was unreleased, there were some keyboards, but I didn't count that in. So this is the first one with live piano, and I think it works quite well.
I agree. Now, what exciting news does Noumena have coming up for Rock Metal Nation to pay attention to?
We have new album released in the end of April, and it's really awesome. The album is called Myrrys, which could be translated as a ruckus or uproar or tumult. It's going to be a really strong melodic death metal album, and hopefully during the autumn we will tour in Finland and in Europe, and maybe, this is my big dream, maybe someday in Canada and the United States, but there's still lots of work to do to achieve that goal.
And a worthy goal it is, my friend. So, Rock Metal Nation, we have a new album released in April, and the translation is basically like a ruckus or an uproar or a tumult. And then we have some touring in the autumn around Finland and in Europe. So if you're definitely a fan in Finland or in Europe, look for those shows. And then my next logical question is going to be, Hannu, is there a website that Rock Metal Nation should go to so they can keep in touch with you?
Yeah, it's Noumena.info, so NOUMENA.info. And of course we have Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and a YouTube channel and you name it, all sort of things which are important nowadays in this digital era.
This is true. All right, so Rock Metal Nation, if you are a social media fan, you can definitely find Noumena on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And then also as well, if you want to go just straight to their main website, then you can go to Noumena.info. Also as well, you can head over to the www.therockmetalpodcast.ca so you can get all of today's information on the show you're hearing right now. All links will be there. Now, Hannu, unless there's anything else that you wanted to throw out there, I just wanted to thank you for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast and for sharing your creativity with Rock Metal Nation.
This has been a pleasure, and I really hope, all the rock and metal fans which are listening to this podcast, is that, there are so many, big bands which have worked hard to achieve their, success and they make great albums and so on. But remember always, in one way or another, support your big bands and your smaller bands, either by buying CD, buying LP, buying T-shirt, go to gig, stream the music, or just shouting in the social media that you really should check this band, because that's the way we can keep the quality music flowing. Of course, we write music and play it for ourselves, but we really want to offer you some great moments listening our favorite music. So make it count and horns up.
All right, Rock Metal Nation. Hopefully you just found your new favorite band in Noumena. Big thanks to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.